Sensación de Bieber is one of those episodes that turns everyday absurdity into social art. What begins as a teenage obsession with a pop star unfolds into an exploration of generational despair, class tension, and the fragile structure of modern identity. Aida has always been a series that hides sharp political and emotional commentary beneath vulgar humor, and this episode stands as a perfect example of its genius. The plot seems simple. Lorena is desperate to attend Justin Bieber's concert, while Aida struggles to make ends meet. Yet beneath that simplicity, the narrative reveals the anatomy of a society obsessed with illusions. The episode captures the way mass culture becomes a substitute for hope. From the opening scene, where girls chant Bieber's name in the street, to the way adults roll their eyes in weary resignation, the tone alternates between mockery and tenderness. The beauty of Aida lies in how it treats stupidity with affection. Lorena's behavior might seem hysterical, but the show never condemns her. Instead, it asks, what else can a young girl from a struggling neighborhood believe in if not the fantasy of fame? The answer is devastating. Aida herself, exhausted and cynical, represents the generation that no longer dreams. She watches her daughter's passion with a mix of envy and pity. In one unforgettable scene, she sits in the kitchen, surrounded by unpaid bills, while Bieber's song plays faintly from the television. Her silence speaks louder than any joke. It is not just about money. It is about a mother who sees her child chasing what she herself was forced to abandon. The comedy builds tension rather than diffusing it. Characters like Mauricio and Amador exploit the hysteria to sell fake merchandise, showing how capitalism infiltrates even the purest feelings. Their antics are hilarious, yet they reveal how every dream becomes a transaction. The neighborhood's gray walls and narrow streets contrast sharply with the neon colors of Bieber's posters, creating a visual metaphor for the chasm between fantasy and survival. Luisma's subplot adds another layer. His confusion about who Bieber is and his clumsy attempts to connect with Lorena mirror society's inability to communicate across generations. His innocence provides comic relief but also tragedy. When he asks, "Is Bieber a kind of shampoo?" it's both absurd and deeply sad, symbolizing how disconnected adults have become from the emotional worlds of their children. The scene where Aida scolds Lorena for skipping school to queue for concert tickets is shot with handheld realism. The camera trembles, capturing the chaos of anger and misunderstanding. It is not just a mother and daughter fighting. It is two worlds colliding, each defending its own illusion. The script balances ridicule and empathy with surgical precision. Every line feels improvised yet deliberate, like jazz built from chaos. One of the most powerful scenes occurs when Aida finally secures counterfeit tickets, thinking she is giving her daughter a gift. When they turn out to be fake, the heartbreak is quiet, not dramatic. Lorena's disappointment is immense, but she hides it, realizing that her mother's effort is the real miracle. That moment elevates Aida from sitcom to literature. It reminds us that love often arrives wrapped in failure. The humor resumes quickly after, but it never feels hollow again. The direction turns Esperanza Sur into a surreal landscape where absurdity masks despair. The colors are slightly oversaturated, the dialogue too fast, the music almost ironic. Yet within this chaos, a strange tenderness blooms. Even Mauricio's greed feels human, driven not by malice, but by the instinct to survive. The episode ends not with resolution, but with coexistence. Lorena still dreams of meeting Bieber. Aida still complains about life, and the world remains absurd. But something subtle changes. There's a glance between them, a shared laughter that suggests understanding beyond words. In that small moment, the show captures what it means to be human, to keep loving, even when everything else feels like a bad joke. Watching Sensación de Bieber today, one realizes how prophetic its humor was. Before social media transformed celebrities into daily gods, Aida, had already diagnosed the epidemic of obsession and loneliness that would define the next decade. The episode's greatness lies not in its jokes, but in its compassion. It laughs at everyone, yet it forgives everyone too. It understands that behind every silly obsession lies the same ancient longing to belong. That is why Sensation de Bieber remains one of the most moving episodes ever written for television. It proves that comedy, when it dares to tell the truth, becomes the highest form of tragedy,